Hey there. Welcome to my show, Thoughtful Thursday. This is your host, Mae Renfroe. And as always, I have some amazing guests on that just share things they're doing or things they've been through in life. And today I have the privilege of talking to Alexandra, a mom of two that is the founder of BunnyMae. It's a toy brand dedicated to keeping kids off of screens and sparking their creativity through hands-on play. Um, so you're passionate, I guess, about creating something that is encouraging imagination, problem solving, and real world interactions. So Alexandria, welcome. I'm
Thank
excited
you.
about that because, as I had just mentioned to you, that I am a homeschooling mom of 10 children. Their ages 24 down to 2, and so this is something that is dear to me and is important and is so screens is just I don't know. It's a big part of our life. It maybe shouldn't be. So yeah, I'm excited about you sharing that. But first, if you could just introduce yourself to us, and yeah, kind of where you start where you want.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. Alexandra. I'm a mom of two boys. I decided to go and create a developmental toy brand when my firstborn arrived. We decided that we're not going to do screens. I didn't know much about it. It was all new territory to me. But it just felt right. It felt right that there was two of us to one of them. We could take care of that time. We could really entertain him and still, be together. And not until later that I started to realize how dangerous screens can be. Of course, if they can be used as a tool. And
Mhm.
I love the idea of just sharing it, educating other parents, creating this safe space because it's not about telling you what to do, how to use it or not to use it. You're the parent. We're just opening up a conversation and talking about what is really necessary and what isn't. And at
Mhm.
this point, we are at the peak of the least amount of connection in between parents and kids. And I think we can really point that at the screens because everywhere you go, if you're on the phone, I encourage you, look up and see what's happening around you.
Ah,
Everybody's glued to their screens. We're talking about mental health issues. I think
yeah,
that's part of it. We're not socializing anymore. We're not communicating. We're not
yeah,
talking to each other.
yeah.
When was the last time you went to a doctor's office and had a conversation with someone in the waiting room?
That's the truth. Yes, I have noticed that. Yeah, it's just our world has changed from back when. Um, that were for some of us and what maybe our parents would be where they would go into like say doctor's office spaces and be able to talk to someone but not now, not in this in our time. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's to me it
Oh,
it was very close to my heart, and that's why I decided to start with the kids. We as
yeah.
parents build the foundation for them. We're the ones that show them how it's supposed to be done, or how we want them to live. Do we want them to be detached from the world, detached from others, or do we want to be together as a family? And that's
Yeah.
what I wanted to create through my toys that I'm developing. I want the parents and the children really to come together. They're open-ended toys, and
Okay.
what I love about it is that everybody can take a piece of it, and there is just a tons of way to be creative, to spark their imagination. And I think that's how we learn the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. That sounds so good. So needed. And what you said earlier that about the screens in it, so that we can't just point just the kids on it is between the parents on their screens and the kids. Then that's the where the wall is up or where you now there's not that communication because the parents are on theirs and so the kids are on theirs and the parents really don't mind maybe because they're on the and so it's just
Yes.
it happens. I've
But
seen it
yeah,
in our
we're
own home,
we're creating
unfortunately.
this wall, right? We're creating that
Mhm,
separation, and I think
mhm,
that's why we're at
mhm,
all-time low for connection in between parents and children. And that's
mhm,
why I love my mission, because I want to bring people together again. I want to
mhm.
see children, in neighborhoods playing again together, opposed to just, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
being at
Yeah.
home, not talking,
Yeah.
not socializing. I
Yeah.
understand there's homeworks, there's extracurriculars, but socializing is such a big part of us. That's what makes us healthy. I think that's why part of the reason why we have so many mental health issues as well is because of the lack of socialization.
I would say so, right? Because that it really is on the rise from years back. I've never done studies on, but have you done like studies on that then, where you can it really is a bigger problem than it had been, so many years ago
I'm
then?
just noticing in the workforce and just adults, I'm noticing how much we're disconnected, how much we don't really talk, how we lack the communication. We can be sitting 3 feet from each other, yet we're sending emails to each other. So it just tells you how much
Oh, man.
technology is taking over.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's lack of conversation, but the worst part is a confrontation. People don't know how to express their feelings. And again, we're just separating and we go
Mhm.
home and we teach that to our children. And
Mhm.
every yes, as far as the research goes, I think every teacher will tell you how much they can tell which kids are using screens and which ones are either low screen or no screen
Oh,
families
wow.
because
Wow,
of
the
the
connection
attention
like
span, because of the
yeah,
imagination.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, wow, and what's unfortunate then the teachers almost have to create the learning environment to fit because that's where the kids are used to being on, so now you gotta try to fit that, right, to
Absolutely, to calm them
learn
down. So
quickly.
instead of
Yeah,
teaching,
yeah.
they're actually focusing on behavioral, not maybe issues, but some challenges, right? Some focus challenges, and it's very hard. But teachers have a very hard job.
Mhm.
Every
Oh,
child that
yeah.
enters the school is being handed an iPad. How are you supposed to? Of
Mhm.
course, it's not. Again, it's a tool. But if we
Mhm.
use it in moderation, we probably won't have any issues. The best research that shows you how dangerous that can be, the exposure, is if a child is exposed to screens before age of 2, they can lose up to 20% of their vocabulary.
What was that again?
If you expose children before age of 2 to
Okay.
excessive screen time, they can lose up to 20% of their vocabulary.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
that
a lot. Oh my goodness.
immediately impacts their language development
Wow. Okay, well,
just
we've
before 2.
we've been guilty of that. Yeah, unfortunately.
We all
Like
are. We all are. I'm not here to make you feel bad. I am not here to judge you. I am here to let you know what the risks are. That's why
yeah,
we're having this conversation. It's about
yeah,
educating, about learning what it
yeah,
really does and how we can take it and use it as a
yeah.
tool opposed to our everyday and go to.
Oh, wow. And then, so over the age of 2, because I mean, I have heard that, yeah, before. I think they was supposed to be the best was like 0 screen time before 2. Okay, so then after that, then it's a limited amount? Do you have that kind of
Yes.
number? What is the
So
best
for
or
now, I think WHO recommends just an hour of the screens up to age of 6, and past 6, it
wow.
just talks about having a set amount. But I think what we can do as parents, we can create these non-screen zones. Let's say
Yeah,
if we're at the dinner table, we're having a meal, we're sitting together as a family, don't be distracted by anything, just have a conversation, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's how you get to find out what happened at school, if
yeah,
there's something they're struggling with. It's an open area to have a conversation, to connect to your children. And same thing with bedrooms. I think we all know how bad sleep is for teenagers. They get into their REM sleep, I think, within the fifth or sixth hour of the night. They need the longer amounts of hours. So imagine if instead of sleeping for the 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed, you're
mhm,
exposed to screens. And the
mhm,
same goes for us as
mhm,
adults.
mhm,
Blue screen's not healthy for us. It's
mm.
good to unwind, but do something off the screen so we can get into a better sleep habits.
Oh, wow, so it does affect our sleep?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm asking, yeah, for myself because I'm guilty of I have a 2-year-old and Well, when he's nursing them, I'm getting him to sleep. That's my time to get to do. I've got my phone, and
Yes.
I might be in the dark room. I got my phone, and I knew it was a little hard on my eyes, but I didn't realize it really could affect my sleep. Now I've been doing it because that's when I finally kind of get to grab my phone when I'm busy. I mean, I do throughout the day certain times, but then the last bit of the evening, I'm getting kids ready for bed. I'm doing their devotions and get
Absolutely.
everything to get in bed, and now I get to check my emails, and now I get to scroll Facebook, etc. I mean, and also that's where I've gotten all my guests for my podcast comes from on Facebook. So far, I've gotten them all in that way. So then I'm checking, okay, has someone left, commented on my post? Is there someone else that's looking for? That's how I found you. So it is done at night on the phone while I'm nursing before I've gone to bed. But then I've been tempted in the middle of the night because I'm up with him and I'm like, well, I'm like awake here like 2 in the morning or something. I'll just grab my phone
Yes.
again. And so that's affecting me. You're
It
saying,
yes, it can affect you. I mean, it depends. I mean, you're probably exhausted if you're waking up in the middle of the night. And again, it's like it's a tool, if we're using it
mhm,
to create something or, if we're using it as a tool, it's a different story. And all of us, especially as moms, we need that downtime,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We
yeah,
need the time
yeah,
where we can just escape our everyday and get
yeah,
into somebody else's life. It's just, again, having that fine balance where it doesn't affect you, it doesn't
yeah,
affect your family,
yeah,
and it's just a healthy, way of using it.
yeah. Okay, so I mean, that's another reason why I've done it more at the night then because I can be on it without someone wanting my attention. I can't be on it without the little ones coming up to me and needing me or and them always seeing mom on her phone, so then I'm at night. Well, of course they have found out that I've been using it, so then but they still know that, but it's not where it's like, okay, that's some me time. Okay, so this I'm not bothering you and I get to take care of business, at night. I'm
Absolutely.
making these connections.
Yes, and
Okay.
I think it's important for all of us just to have that me time, right? I was like, when do you get to have some time, some downtime to
Yeah,
yourself? So I
yeah.
think in that sense, it's also our mental health too. We need our escape. We need our
Mhm,
sanity time.
mhm. But we gotta take care of, yeah, ourselves, so if this is gonna be affecting sleep, then, yeah, then it's not a good thing. Yeah, so
Absolutely. And
I'm
I think
thinking
it's
yeah,
just
for
step
sure.
by step creating these, I guess, habits, right? I mean, it's a foundation. It's like we're
Yeah,
teaching them, we're showing them, we're the example. If we can use it as a healthy tool, I think children just follow automatically up until, of course, they get to school and they see others, right, to be using phones.
yeah.
And there's actually a really interesting story from a book where there was few girls. They were getting together for a sleepover. When they first got together for the first 20 minutes as girls, as
Mhm,
teenagers, screams, laughs, just
mhm,
amazing time.
mhm,
And after 20 minutes it falls silent. So the parents
mhm,
got worried, ran to the children, and
mhm,
every single one of the girl had a phone pulled out in front of them. And it
mhm.
just shows you how sad that is because
Mhm.
they were together to have this great
Yeah,
time. They were able to entertain themselves for 20 minutes, and then guess what? It just they lose that imagination
yeah, yeah,
because they have something that they can be occupied with.
because they're used to that, so they just really gravitate towards that, and it's kinda like, we need yeah, so you can really see that it is something that well, as so an addiction, you could call it really addictive, but it's also maybe the need to always I don't know, what is that? Why is that pull? They were all together, but why would they turn then to the phone? Something more exciting on the
I
phone?
think it might be the excitement, and might be the habit of looking at the screens.
Mhm,
It might be the fact that they're not used to using their imagination for play, creative
mhm,
play.
mhm,
What I noticed with my little guy, when I
mhm,
was expecting my second son, it didn't matter what it was or where we were. He always just wanted to sit down and play together,
mhm,
and nothing mattered around just us. It was just him and I. We had the blocks, or we just had open ended toys, and we just played together. The child was the happiest kid
Mm.
on earth. He didn't need anything, and I was so uncomfortable. He would be pulling a pillow off a couch, sitting it on the floor, have me sit because I was uncomfortable, so we can
Mm.
spend that time together.
Oh, wow.
And nothing else mattered. He was the happiest when he could do that, and that's how I started looking into it as a great opportunity to create something, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you have so many children too, you've seen it.
yeah,
Sometimes when they get bored, they have the greatest ideas of how to play, what to
yeah,
play with.
yeah.
They'll take a carton box and they'll have fun at it for
Mhm,
hours.
mhm,
Nothing
mhm.
else needed. So
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm trying to create. It's okay to have screens off. It's okay to have them on. I
yeah,
think what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep them engaged, and we're trying to keep their imagination alive.
yes. Okay, so it can kill the imagination like that. Yeah,
Well,
and work your child will
think
actually.
about if you're in front of a screen, you can binge watch a show for hours. Is that,
Mhm,
of course, again, it's okay if that's what you wanted to do. But on the other side, you're not going to gain that time back. And also, it's not going to, let's say, I don't know, it's not going to make you think about something else you could do or
mm.
plan out
Yeah,
something
that's right.
for the following day or
Mhm,
for the following week
mhm,
or think
mhm,
about something you wanted to do.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's again, it's with us too. We need
yeah,
that downtime, but we need that time for ourselves to actually spark the creativity in us as well.
yeah. Yeah, and with children, like you mentioned with your son, and that time he was totally, happy with that. And I've noticed with our children, but too. But if if there was the opportunity to have the screen, and once you've kind of ended up getting that and starting that, so then suddenly, oh, there's nothing to do. I have no, I'm bored. I need the screen. You really feel like you need it. You're bored. Where otherwise, a lot of time I've heard parents even say they don't even hear that word being used because they're just kids are used to finding something. I think growing up too, my mom has said that with us, that we rarely would say that we're bored because we would just used to finding something to do. We didn't have TVs, of course, just like a phone or those little screens like that was definitely not. We didn't have or TV and anything in our home. We totally grew up without a TV, and so I didn't know what that was like. I just knew to go find something to do or work. We grew up on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
farm, but
I
there
mean,
was plenty of
definitely
work to do.
life has changed tremendously, and I think
Mhm.
we're just learning to live in it, to
Yeah,
adjust to it. Only research is showing now how really degenerative screens can be. Of course,
yeah,
everything with moderation.
yeah, yeah,
For us, it's just to have the conversation. Is this necessary? Is there something else we can do? What can we do instead of using screens? And how can we spend time together as family? We all
yeah,
know kids grow so fast. Before we blink, they're going to be out of the house and we're going to
yeah,
miss that time. But I think if we can spend it,
yeah,
whether it's on outdoor activities when it's possible, or just being together, creating, doing arts and crafts or just using different toys that we can actually all pitch in together, having board game nights, just
yeah.
something that we can actually bring us closer together.
And where communication can happen. See,
Absolutely,
with over
yes.
games, you can be talking and communicating and stuff, but watching something, everybody's gotta be silent. Don't say anything. Hey, I'm trying to
Yeah,
hear. I'm trying, be quiet. And so then you can't talk. And so you might be together, but you're not communicating. Um,
exactly. It's like I have a really good example of how that happened to us. We are very minimal screen time. It's not that
yeah.
we don't use screens, but we use them very little or when
Mhm,
we need to, like
mhm,
when the kids are sick, they need to keep the low energy.
mhm,
But when
mhm.
you watch them, it's frightening because their eyes started getting like glossy and red, open
Mm.
mouth, drooling. You're watching an addict in front of a screen, and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just shows you how much they're
yeah.
into it, and the opposite of that. If there is no possibility of screens, I keep watching them talking to each other,
Mm,
role playing, as little as they are, but they get together and they play
mhm.
together all day.
Oh yeah. No, I've mine, they certainly do. But if there's an opportunity for a screen, especially some of the younger ones, because I end up allowing it more because I feel like, oh well, I guess what I better could do. The older ones, I'm like, hey, no, you can be productive. It's where maybe you don't have just chores, but still try to use your time creatively, wisely. Go make some outside, go run around. And the little ones, I encourage that too, but they can't, it is a little different for someone as well. And so I excuse it, but boy, when you do that, you give an inch and they're gonna take a mile. They're gonna,
Absolutely, yes.
yeah, yeah, and then it's just, and it, yeah,
I,
totally,
I think
totally.
it's our nature that, we just want to, as especially as children, we just want to take and take. We don't really know what it is. We
Yeah,
don't know the boundaries
yeah,
yet.
yeah,
But,
yeah. So,
believe it or not, children's brain doesn't develop fully till age 25. So it is highly
mm,
recommended to not give them phones up until that age because, they're getting influenced by others. So
mm,
whether it's a healthy or unhealthy,
mm,
there's such
yeah,
things as, when you're exposing your kids or when you're introducing screens or shows,
yeah,
there's also, good and bad shows. Some of them are more stimulating than others. You may notice on your children when you turn off the show, they'll get more. They get more emotional. They have behavioral
mhm,
issues
mhm,
for a short
mhm,
period of time, and it's
mhm,
because they might be just overstimulated.
mhm. Yeah, well, they want more. Yeah, they're happy as long as you got it on. You shut it off and you're in trouble.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now
Okay.
it's up to parents to create the engagement, and that's why
Yeah.
that's why I saw it as a great
Yeah.
opportunity to introduce parents not only to communication, to conversation about it, but we can actually create something and hand it to them as a tool.
Yeah.
It's like for the ones that work, we come home and everything is on our plate. We have to take care of dishes, we got to take care of
Yeah.
dinner, of
Yeah.
homework,
Yeah.
and you got to sit down there's a million things to do. We don't have time for
Yeah.
anything. But if we have tools, if we have open-ended play, or if we have activities for them that we can introduce them to, I think it gives us parents the peace that they're actually using their imagination, they're being productive, and we can accomplish something that is
Yeah.
necessary for us to complete.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody's benefiting. It's a win-win. Everybody's
Absolutely.
accomplishing. Yeah. All right. So can you tell us about this this thing that you're developing or created?
So yeah, so my first product will be a magnetic whiteboard. It's 32 inches wide by 48 inches tall, so it can grow with the child probably till 10 or 12 years old. It's got a beautiful color, beautiful shape, so you can actually it's self-adhesive, so you can put it up on the wall. You can use magnetic toys for it, and we know how much our children love magnetic tiles and magnetic
Uh-huh.
lettering,
Yeah.
and so I have a lot more in the line of creating. But you just put it on the wall. It's not, it looks like a nice art piece in your home. It's not cluttered,
Yeah.
but kids can also use it as a whiteboard, so if they can play school, they can play, we do car shops and bike shops, we do all
Mhm.
kinds of activities, and you can actually, incorporate it all into the play. So again, it sparks their creativity of what they can
Mhm.
do with it, and I think it keeps them engaged because they can play teachers, they can,
Mhm.
they can
Oh,
create different
wow.
shapes.
Yeah.
So the follow-up product that I'm creating too is these magnetic pieces where you can make actually an alphabet out of it, shapes. You can actually make different drawings of it. Then you can introduce
Oh,
the markers to go around your shapes, or creating roads. It's just the the
wow.
possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds limitless. It sounds like you could really create, and you're learning, right? So there's a lot of things
Absolutely.
that you are actually learning. So this would be something that, say, homeschool moms could really incorporate when
Absolutely.
teaching. Well, any moms, because yeah, in their play
Yes.
they want to incorporate. But I was
But
thinking more of like a
especially
weekend class
homeschool moms,
as
not
well.
only that it's large, you can actually have your child stand next to you. They can practice their letters, their numbers. They can practice some math on it, and it doesn't matter. You can put it either higher up on
Yeah.
the wall or lower. Of course,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a permanent fixture, but if you use a little bit of heat, you can actually peel it off, and up to 2 or 3 times you can put it in different locations. But it's supposed to be
Oh.
a permanent fixture. But
Oh, okay. Once
but
you put
think
it up.
about it, you can clean
Okay.
it up, you can take
Yeah.
everything off, and you just have a nice corner where children can either play, or it can just be there on the wall on its own.
Oh, wow. Neat. And so how did it get its name? You call this kind of Bunny May?
So BunnyMae is the name of the brand. My children love bunnies. We have quite a few bunnies
Uh-huh.
every year in the summer. So I wanted to go with the theme of bunny. The product that I'm creating is called Magna Dream Board, because it's, to me, it's a dream, right?
Yeah.
It's, you can
Okay.
create so much
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was the whole story behind the name and behind the creation.
Okay. That caught my attention. May is my name.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, Bunny May.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like I'm gonna have to find out how it got its name. Okay.
And yeah,
Oh.
just to support moms even further, I created also a private Facebook community. So all
Okay.
the moms that are into, either screen-free activities, or just
Yeah.
wanted to be surrounded
Yeah.
around like-minded moms that
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't want to expose their children, or if they do, they're using as a tool, and minimal.
Yeah.
So we actually go live every week. I have different experts coming in, and teaching the moms about different aspects, not only of the
Oh.
screen but also of motherhood. Just, a few minutes ago, we had a potty training expert. Then we had a person that did therapy for children with dyslexia. So I'm trying to create this support zone for moms,
Yeah.
like-minded, that not only that they like screen-free
Yeah.
life, but also they want to learn. It's like they can pop
Mhm.
in for a moment, watch
Mhm.
some experts, connect with other moms, and create some
Mhm.
some community. Because as moms,
Mhm.
we are
And
so
support.
isolated, as we
Mhm.
are. Like you mentioned,
Mhm.
if you're a homeschool mom, there is no socialization much for you, right? Until you
Oh,
create that time. So I wanted to
yeah.
create a
Mhm.
safe and secure space for mom that can come together, and get to know each other and
Mhm.
create connections.
Mhm. Yeah, that have so to support. Yeah, to have the
Absolutely.
support because it is a challenge to kind of walk this out without having screen time, especially if you're introducing it new to your family. It's could be kind of war zone a little bit in your family, right? Kids are not
Yes.
gonna, you know,
Yes.
take to this just too kindly to be like, oh, we're just like going without screens or we're really
Yeah.
reducing it. So yeah, and so then if you have the support of other moms and that they're doing this too, you're not alone. You're not the only bad mom. You know?
Exactly. Yes, because we're gonna be viewed, right, as the
Yeah,
devil in the
yeah,
world, in the society, because we were trying to take something away. But yet I
yeah,
think, when they get to be adults, when they get to really analyze what's at stakes, I think that's when they're going to be appreciative that
yeah,
we took
yeah,
the time, and we took our knowledge to create a healthier environment
yeah,
for them.
yeah. That is good. And I have one of my older sons that has really thanked me that we are not weren't big on computer games. Now we did allow some of it, but just very little bits. And then he got to where himself at a certain age that he's like, there's no like I don't have time for this. That is a waste of time. He's like that is useless. So and he is just totally dead set against it. And so this particular one, he is 19 and quite a workaholic. He wasn't really good in the academic, like with the school. Pretty much kind of quit.
Mhm.
You know, kind of tuned out there at a certain age. He just got to where he learns hands on. Okay, so then yeah, he has got a job that he's doing, and he's built up a good reputation of his work, and he is against gaming, and where he says it is other kids his age are really like struggling with it. They're really a big part of their life, and he's told me
Yes.
many thank you, mom. Thank you that
Yes.
you
Yes.
thank you that I am free from what other ones are having to hang up on, and,
Absolutely.
So I think
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
crazy.
it's like even my husband was telling me his mom never allowed video games to.
Mhm.
I haven't dove much into the research yet. All I'm seeing and all I'm reading right now is how much it increases violence in children.
Mhm.
It's
Oh,
because it's
sad.
normal to to shoot someone, to take their life away. It's meaningless. And
Yeah,
I
in the
think that's
games,
why
right? It's yeah.
absolutely it's like
Oh,
it
wow.
becomes just a thing to do.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah,
that's what sparks violence as well in children. My mother-in-law didn't allow video games too, and when my husband was an adult, it's like I can finally get my video console. And he started, it's like we were freshly married. We had all this time on our hands, and he started using the video games. And after 2 or 3 weeks, he's like, I do not want a part of this. It's like
yeah,
not only that it's taking my time away, but it's
yeah,
like I cannot gain this time back.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing meaningful in it except that it's like I'm straining my eyes at the screen. It's like I just keep playing, and before I know it,
After
I'm on it for 4 hours.
a
Like
long
I
time.
do not want to waste my time like that. And
Yeah, it's
he
very
thanked his
addictive.
mom like your son did to you.
It
It's
is,
like,
okay. Yeah,
and it was
yeah,
absolutely that. And I
yeah.
see it. My nephew
Wow.
is 11 years old. My sister doesn't allow. It's like he has an hour of I think it's called Minecraft. I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never been a gamer.
Mhm,
It's supposedly the safer version of the
mhm,
game, but they communicate through headsets, whoever they play with. You don't know what your children are who
mhm,
they're going to
mhm,
talk to,
mhm,
especially if they're connecting online.
mhm,
You don't know
mhm.
if it's a predator. You don't know what their intentions are. It's again, it becomes a safety issue once they can
For the
connect
yeah,
to
yeah,
internet. and
yeah,
and turning it off is an issue, then
yeah,
focusing is an
yeah,
issue.
yeah,
It's a whole combo of
yeah,
really bad experiences, not only for the child but for the parents to deal with as well.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just sort of stop it, like I said earlier, if you just allowed it, just whenever, forever, I guess,
Yeah,
but but when you try to curb it, then it's yeah, and just issues that you have to deal with, you wouldn't normally have to deal with if you just
absolutely. And I think the older the
yeah,
children, the
yeah,
harder it is, right?
yeah,
Because they can voice it, they can communicate their
yeah,
frustration. And
yeah,
so that's why I think it's so important that we teach them. We actually embed it like
yeah,
since they're little, because I think that's, they're going to
yeah,
learn it. This is the way that we live at
yeah,
our home.
yeah, for sure, and we are to be good stewards of our time, and so we need to teach that to our children. We're to be good stewards. To time is very fleeting. Time is a gift. It is a very special gift, and we don't realize it. Can be like, oh, we nothing to do. We just what why not? But no, it really adds up. That time on there, if you add how many hours a week, how many, and they say I've heard that you probably heard this too. The average amount. This was for TV, but or maybe it was screens in general. I don't know. I understood it was more directed to TV, but in an average person's lifetime, they would have spent about 9 years watching TV. So nine
Yes.
years of an average lifetime. So it's like, oh my goodness, like, are we really supposed to do that? Is God really okay with that? Like when we
Yeah.
bring
Yeah.
God into the equation, which He is supposed to be in every part of our life, we were like, okay, is this really what He wants? Is this pleasing Him? Is this using our time wisely? And so we see it
Yeah.
when you
And
start
you
looking
can
at
have
that,
different arguments. Oh, well, God created it. I was like, well, God gave us the gifts to create something, but use it as
Mhm,
a tool. Use
mhm,
it to make the world better, not a
mhm,
worse place. And not
mhm,
especially, it's I feel for the parents that have issues with children and their screens, because there was no hygiene around screens even 10 years ago. This is all new research. This is all just
mhm,
showing up
mhm,
now what it can do. It's like it can not only intensify ADHD, it can give you a symptoms of ADHD. They're very similar to each other. I feel
mhm,
sorry for the parents because they didn't know what they were
mhm.
what they were
Oh yeah,
exposing their kids to.
for sure. Yeah, you don't realize. Yeah,
And I think that's why it's so important not to look into it, to educate ourselves and to surround ourselves
yeah,
with good research, so we can take action towards that.
yeah, yeah. And this is a new era, like where we've never till so no one and no one really knows in it. but now I guess we are starting to maybe see kind of what
Yeah,
what does happen when
absolutely.
with that. And so,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
really,
as moms, as parents, we just have to stay together, stay strong, stay
yeah,
connected in a sense where,
yeah,
we know what we're doing and
yeah,
we're keeping our children safe.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
goal at the end of the day.
yeah,
We just want to create as healthy environment
yeah.
for them as possible.
As we possibly can, yeah. For and guarding their hearts and their minds, we are commanded to do that, to guard their hearts and minds, and then teach them to guard their hearts and minds, so they can
Absolutely.
and they can do that
And
as
protect
well.
from evil.
Yeah, because we have an enemy out there, and it's not the flesh and blood. It's against this is Ephesians 6, the principalities and powers and stuff in the high places, and Satan come to steal, kill, and destroy. Right, so he does that in these ways that we would never guess. But the enemy is really behind, I think, all of this more than a person would realize.
Absolutely.
Trying to steal our
There's
children, God.
definitely people out there that get paid to create softwares the way they are created, especially social media to keep pulling us back in. And I
Mhm,
think
mhm, mhm,
that's where our minds just think
mhm,
about it as, as a heart, you have high blood pressure. If it keeps overworking, it's going to have issues
mhm,
later,
mhm,
sooner than later, right? And it's the same
mhm.
thing with our brains as far as
Yeah,
the pleasure
yeah,
centers. We're so
yeah,
attached to our phones to see our like, another comment, another
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
another post, and it gives us the dopamine hit, but our pleasure centers are being worn out, so we get to be depressed more easy, we get to feel disconnected, we start having mental health issues,
yeah.
and the worst part is that we are completely disconnecting ourselves from society.
Wow, and just not realizing it. I guess it's that bit by bit by bit, that little bit in those little subtle ways that and that's how the enemy works, isn't it? He's kinda working really slick, really sneaky,
Yeah.
and
Like you
it's
mentioned, it's like you
purpose.
wanna look at your post, you wanna see if somebody commented, if somebody
Mhm,
liked. It's like,
mhm,
it was designed for us just to keep, being pulled back in no matter
yeah,
how hard we try, and
yeah,
it's our nature. Of course, everybody wants to have high, during the day, a lot of highs, but we don't realize it how much it really, uh, plays a game with our mind.
yeah, for sure. Oh, wow. Well, I really like that you've really shared that and you've really been helped me be more aware, and just like, okay, I'm gonna have to implement these things a little more and stuff in the home and yeah. And it's
I
just
think it's again, it's like, being aware of it, right?
mhm,
Creating the
mhm,
conversation
mhm,
with others, seeing what tools are available.
mhm,
There's
mhm,
definitely great tools in it, and I don't,
mhm,
it's like we can learn so much from technology as well. So don't
mhm.
understand me wrong. I'm just thinking about the downtime,
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
time, when our children are growing, do we want them to have influence from the
yeah,
external world if we don't know what
yeah,
they're looking at,
yeah.
or do we want to influence them to create them the best being?
Yeah. Yeah, and so that in that aspect too, just kind of what are they learning and gleaning, and especially young people, if they're always scrolling on and seeing what other people are doing, I've heard that can just be really hard if they're not,
Yeah.
feeling like they have that life that someone else has, and then of course it's not even really for real because it's all doctored up and whatever, and so all these things,
Yes,
and then feel inadequate of themselves.
yes. I
Yeah.
mean, you see so much higher rate in teenage girls trying to commit suicide, and it's
Oh
essentially due
wow.
to social media,
Yeah.
due
Yeah.
to the fact that they're seeing this perfect image of somebody else's on social media. We know that they're only highlighting
Yeah.
the greatest moments of their life,
Yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
struggling like every one of us. They have struggles. Everybody has wins and losses during the week, during the month, but we
Yeah.
don't share the bad stuff. We only share the good stuff, and I think that's where it plays the mental game because we're seeing this perfect world on social media that doesn't really exist.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Wow.
Yeah,
Well, I bet we could just talk about this for a long time, right? Because so many aspects, but yeah, maybe we can't cover the
absolutely.
pain, but like, so your product again, to come back to that. Okay, so where's that available and where?
So
Good.
I am getting ready to launch in about 2 or 3 months. I'm hoping it's going
Oh,
to be
okay.
available right before Christmas. I will definitely share the link. The uh, the site that I'm on Instagram as under BunnyMae Toys, and I also have a moms community that I would love to invite all the moms to, called
Okay.
Moms Meadow on
Okay.
Facebook, and I'll be
Okay.
happy to share the links with you.
Yeah. Okay, for sure. Yeah, we can put that all in the video description so they can find that and everything. Okay, so your product is launching, not available yet.
It's not
Okay.
available yet. Yeah, I've been
But where
working
will it
very
be
hard.
though?
So
So
it'll
where
be my goal is to have it on Amazon, so it's
okay.
available and it's shipping everywhere. But I
Oh,
think
wow.
for Christmas alone, I'm hoping to have it available on my website.
Okay, cool.
So
I will
it'll
have
be
to stay tuned. Everyone's gonna have to stay tuned for that. Oh, that's neat.
absolutely.
I like
Yeah,
that.
so I'm really excited. It's like I've been working so hard for the
Yeah,
last year to bring it
yeah,
to existence. I've been working with many factories trying to
yeah.
get the ins and outs of it, and then I have so
Awesome.
many more fun
Yeah,
toys. Just to create that
yeah,
imagination, to spark their creativity,
yeah,
and keep those little minds exploring. Because I
yeah.
think every one of us has a great creative side to us. I think we
Yeah,
just don't nurture it enough, and
yeah,
I think that's how we as
yeah.
parents, because what I love to do with my kids is we sit down in front of the whiteboard and we just pull out the markers, we pull out the toys, and we just create for hours.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And then you can have conversations in that time too, but
Absolutely,
not on a
yes.
screen where they might be playing these games, making something, but you're actually doing, things that
Yeah, and it brings you together, I think, as family. I think that's what I really wanted to get.
yeah.
It's like it's creating that togetherness, having
Mhm.
the quality time, being present with our children. And if you have to use a screen, I think what's a great habit to get into is verbalizing. It's like, hey, I am, messaging with so and so. Maybe we can have a play date. Maybe we can get together. But I think verbalizing it, because we do have to, it's a tool for us. It's a
Mhm.
communication device for
Mhm.
us, but have that time be set aside and have the time with your children, because I can guarantee you, I've watched it on so many faces. The moment you just jump in front of your kid and you're ready to play, that the
Mhm.
happiness on their faces just
Oh,
says
yeah.
it all alone.
Oh, yeah.
And
I've seen it
yeah,
time. Yeah. But if I'm busy preoccupied on something, especially if I got my own screen, then they're gonna deviate to that too and go to that as well. But no, they would rather spend time with me. They want to get me
absolutely.
out playing and doing something. They'd rather do that any day. But then
Yeah.
if I'm not, if not, well then they will go to that. If it's available,
Yes.
they do tend to do that, but they would love just to be out and doing.
But I can
Yeah.
guarantee you that 10 out of 10 times, if you are willing to sit down and do something with them, they'll take it.
Yeah, instead. Yeah.
Yes.
Takes a lot of our time and attention,
Absolutely, yeah. But it's,
but
it's about being present, right?
but
It's
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
when we're having conversation, we're not being disrupted by many things. We just want to have a conversation because that's how we can
yeah,
build relationships. That's how we can communicate
yeah,
with each other and just yes, be social with each other.
yeah, yeah, it is worth it, it's valuable, and our little ones grow up way faster than we could even think, I know,
Absolutely.
so it's not gonna hurt to to really pour our time now because we won't always be able to. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
There's going
great.
to come time where there be well, we have plans, we have friends to go out with. I'll
Yeah,
see you later, mom.
yeah, 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 so you wanna make the most when they're little
Yeah,
and not be on.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, too much.
It's
Oh, that's
I think
good.
they're so little for such a short time.
Yeah,
Having
yeah,
that time with them and having
yeah,
that great relationship
yeah,
and just being together, it's like it doesn't have to be productive every time, but
yeah,
just being with
yeah,
them and being present, having a conversation will
yeah.
make a world of difference.
Yeah, and it does go quick. I mean, when I continue to have children, like I have been, it feels like I've had little ones in my home forever. Well, yeah, but not the same little ones. So,
Yes.
because now that the oldest is 24 and then under him is 19. Well, we have one in between, but we had a loss. But
So
they're grown up. Yeah. Yeah. and so you really go, and it goes quick with that one particular child. Before you know it, you turn around, they're like grown and ready to fly the coop, and it
Yeah.
does go quick. It really does. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to share before we kind of get off here? Anything that we didn't
Well,
cover?
thank you for having me. Thank you for having the great conversation with me. I love sharing this story. I love sharing, the facts and the research, and again, let's just have a conversation about it. It's not about being judged. It's not about
Yeah.
telling
Yeah.
you what
For
to
sure.
do or how to do it, but having a conversation, being aware of what's out there, and how we can impact our children, and we all want to build the greatest foundation for our children. So thank you
Yeah.
for having me. Thank you for having this wonderful conversation with me, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you again.
Okay, yeah, you too. Yeah, thanks again so much for sharing with us, Alexandria. I've enjoyed our conversation, and this is valuable for a lot of moms, I'm sure. It's encouragement. We want to lift each other up. Yeah, you said it's not judging and
Absolutely.
stuff, but just lifting each other up and
Yes.
raising our children. It's getting harder in the world, and so
Yes.
yeah, the support. So thank you. Okay,
Thank you
okay,
so much.
take care. God bless.